be the first part. I did record the crankshaft first before I did the piston. I thought I would come back and redo these because the videos we had didn't have any voiceover directions, and sometimes the person just assumed we knew how to do things without actually showing us the buttons they hit to make certain things happen. So I thought I would do this as a voiceover and walk us through the piston now. So we're going to do a standard part, and all the dimensions for this part are in millimeters. So as soon as this opens up, we're just going to give this a second here. There we go. Okay, there we go. So we're going to go to Tools, Document Settings, Units, and we're going to set this to millimeters and hit OK. Then we're going to go back to 3D Model and start a 2D sketch. And for the piston, we're going to work on the XZ plane, or the flat plane as I call it sometimes. Now, if I go too fast, obviously you can just pause the video and go back, or pause after you complete each step. And ideally, if you're one of my students, you would be working at your workstation. You could have your Chromebook playing the video off to the side, so it's almost like you have a dual screen, so you can follow along better with what I'm doing as opposed to switching tabs. But now that we're in our 2D sketch mode, we are going to create a circle that's going to create the body of our piston. And we're going to go right in the origin because we are going to use the mirror tool. So we want this to be centered on our sketch area. So we're going to click in the origin there, and we are going to dimension out an 85 millimeter circle, hit enter, and we can zoom out a little bit and we can finish that sketch. And then we're going to extrude that, and we're going to extrude that to 90 millimeters. And this makes up the body of our piston. Hit OK. And we can zoom out, and we can pick a nice pretty full color. We'll go with gold. We'll go with gold metal. Now your color selection may be below your ribbon, it may be above your ribbon. It depends on where you placed it when you were setting up your Inventor. So that's the body of our piston. Now, in order, the way a piston in the engine works is the piston is slightly smaller than the cylinder in the engine block. And this is because the piston could expand because it heats, and it's made of different metals than the engine block usually. So it might expand at a different rate, and that would have it seize up in the engine. So there's little rings that fit around the piston that take up the space, and the rings they can expand and contract with little gaps in them. So we have to put grooves in here where the rings are going to go. So in order to do that, we're going to create a plane on top, and then we're going to offset it down here. So we're going to pull down the plane tool and pick offset from plane, click right on top. And you notice the arrow is pointing up, but we want to move it down. So we're going to put a negative value in, and the value they had was negative 7.3. You can see it move down there, and we'll hit OK with the check mark. And now we will left click on this plane, and we're going to go to view, and we're going to click on the half section view, and that's going to remove the top part so we don't see it right now, because we're going to work in the area underneath it, and we're going to hit OK. All right, so now we can just see the top here. Now we're going to left click on this plane again and create a sketch. And we're going to create a circle in this one that is 79 millimeters starting at the origin. So we'll go with a diameter of 79. We'll hit enter, and we want to extrude out this area on the outside. So we need to select this outer line too. So we're going to select the project geometry, and we're going to click on the outer circle, and then we're going to finish that sketch. And now I can zoom in a little bit to show you this. We're going to hit the 3D model, and we're going to go to the extrude, and we're going to click on this area right in between those two circles, just this outer part. And we're going to click on that, and we're going to set that extrusion to 4.3, millimeters, but we're going to cut it. So you can see it creates that gap in there. And we're going to hit OK. And then we're going to go back to our view. And we're going to delete that section view. And that puts the top back on. And now if we want to get rid of this plane, we don't want to look at it anymore, we can right click on it. And visibility, we can toggle that off. And now it's gone. So there's our single ring groove, but we want to have two more of them. So rather than trying to measure them out and offset them and do all those things, we're going to use the pattern tool. So we're going to go back to 3D model, and we're going to do a pattern, and we're going to pick the feature is going to be this extrusion 2, and we are going to set that on the y-axis. So we're going to go right there and select the y-axis. Now notice it's moving up, and when we change it to 3, the 3 of them are going up. So we're just going to switch the direction. We're going to flip it, and now they're going down. And we're going to space them out at 11.6 millimeters. And there they are. There's 3 of them. Okay. Looking good so far. Looking pretty good. All right, now we want to create a new sketch on the XY plane. We're going to make this kind of curved on top here. So we're going to go to the XY plane, and the new sketch button appears. We're going to click that. And this is where one of the things where in the video, it just kind of happened and they never explained how it happened. Like half the sketch went away. So you can see like the interior of it. So up here under view, you have this button that says slice graphics. Now that gives you the interior look of it. In the video, you never saw him go up there and click on it because he always stayed here in the sketch panel. So what he did was he hit F7 on the keyboard. Just hitting F7, the function 7 key, takes that away. And now you're looking right at a cross section of it. And we're going to go to a line tool. And we're going to go right here in the top in the middle and create a line. And we're going to dimension that out to 5 millimeters at 90 degrees and hit enter. Then we're going to right click and hit OK. So we got a 5 millimeter line. Then we're going to go to the arc tool and click on the top of that 5 millimeter line and go to the edge here. And we're going to set this to 300 and hit enter. And there's our curve. And finish the sketch. Now, this is not going to be an extrusion, actually. This is going to be a revolve. So we're going to hit the revolve key. And we're going to revolve that section. And the axis that we're going to revolve it on is this little line, the 5 millimeter line. So we'll click that, and it'll go all the way around. And so we'll hit OK. And now we've got kind of a curved top on our piston. All right. So that's looking pretty good so far. Now, we're going to go to the bottom. So I'll just click on the bottom of the view cube there. And we're going to create a sketch on the bottom of this. And we're going to put a circle right in the middle. And we're going to dimension that out to 76 millimeters and hit OK. And then we're going to finish that sketch. And then we're going to extrude it. But we're going to cut it. And we're going to cut it 85 millimeters. So we made a 90 millimeter extrusion when we created this piston. So we're going to do an 85 millimeter cut into it. So that's going to leave 5 millimeters at the top. And now it kind of looks like a cup there. So it's hollow on the inside. All right. Now we need to create a hole here that goes all the way through. And to do that, we are going to come over here in our origin, and we're going to create a sketch on, we're going to do this one on the YZ plane, I think, at the top here. Yeah. YZ. Let me just hit the home button one time and do that. And YZ. Yep. YZ. Create a sketch. And bring this down. Hit F7. So that goes away. And we're going to create a circle. And we're not going to worry about where we place it so much. I mean, we're going to place it right in the middle. But as for the height, we're going to dimension that when we're done. So we're just going to click in there. And we're going to make a circle that's 33.8 millimeters. And hit OK. Then dimension. Left click once on the center. Left click once on the bottom. Drag it out. And we are going to set that to 27 millimeters and hit enter. And that's the height of our circle. Then we're going to finish that. And we'll just tilt it up so we can see it. There's our circle right in the middle. And we're going to hit extrude. And you see it's giving us a solid extrusion. We want to cut. And we want it to go both ways. And just to make sure, we're going to click through all. So we know it cut everything out. And hit OK. So now we've got a hole through there. That's eventually where the pin will go to hold the connecting rod. Okay. And we are going to create a new sketch on the XY plane. So that's bisecting it the other way. And again, we're going to hit F7. And then we want to put a construction line in the middle here. So we're going to click this and we're going to go right to the bottom middle here. And we're going to go up about, I don't know, 54 millimeters. Just go up nice and high. Get this out of the way. It's not going to be a real line because we're going to click on it. We're going to hit OK. We're going to click that line again. And then we're going to right click on it and make it a construction line. So now it's dotted. Now we're going to make two more lines. Now, it's not that important where we make them because we're going to dimension them and symmetry them when we're done. So I'm just going to go over somewhere about 16 millimeters over, and I'm going to go straight up about 18 millimeters high, 18.58, and put a line there. Hit OK. Same thing on this side. Put a line in, 16 over, about 18 high, 90 degrees, and hit OK. All right, now we're going to do symmetry. Let me just make sure we're on the right step here. 18 high. Yeah, we're going to do symmetry. So we're going to click that line, and we're going to make them symmetrical with our construction line. Then we're going to hit equal, make that line equal to that line. Then we are going to create an arc. And we're going to arc this one to this one and make that about 32 high, 31, 33, somewhere right in there. Doesn't matter. We're going to dimension it. All right, and hit OK. So we've got this basic shape here. All right, now we are going to split these to be 50 millimeters apart. So we're going to hit our dimension tool. Click that one. Click that one and bring it down. See, it's like 32. And we're going to change it to 50. Can you guys see that? I'll bring it over here. 50 millimeters and hit OK. Now we're going to dimension this side. Now this side equals that side. So when I change this side, which we're going to change it to 12, it will change the other side. Enter. And then we're still in the dimension tool. We're going to drag this and change that to 32 high. So I'm going to highlight that, put it 32, enter. And then the only way to extrude this is it has to be a complete closed shape. So we're going to do a line tool, start at this side, and connect it to this side. And then hit OK. All right, now we've got this basic shape. Actually, this 32 here, I think this is actually supposed to be 40. Sorry. We're going to just change it. 40 millimeters. Little error there, but we'll leave it in. Shows my humanity. Okay, there we go. 40 millimeters, and then connect the bottom. So that's all we have to do there. We're going to finish that sketch. And again, it's inside. It's right there. So now we're going to do the extrusion. And we're going to go both ways. We're going to cut. And we're going to go through everything. Let's just have a look at what that looks like. Yep, that looks good. So we're going to hit OK. Now we got these sharp edges inside here. And the next step was to use the fillet tool. So we're going to click that. And we're going to set our edges to 10 millimeters. And then we're just going to get these little lines. If you have to, zoom in. I'm doing a good job getting these. I'm going to flip this up a little bit. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Here we go. Get that one. And get that one. There we go. Hit OK. Hit my home button. That's looking a lot like a piston. That's looking pretty good. Okay, so we've extruded that. We've filleted them. Now we're going to do a new sketch on the YZ plane. That's the top one. And that's because we want to create a circle that goes between these two holes. And we're going to do an extrusion in there. So we're going to create a new sketch. And what we want to do to make this work right is we want to do the project geometry and select the hole we made. Then we want to create a circle, and we want it to be right in the middle of this. So you can see as I move my mouse up and down, I get it on the center line. And when I get to a certain point, I've got a little dashed line going off to the right. That means I'm right in the middle. And it's at 27 millimeters if your line isn't appearing. Just try and get it there. And then when you click there, you'll notice that the hole is completely centered. And we're going to make this one 45 millimeters and hit enter. And then we're going to finish that. So you can see that is in the middle there. We're going to extrude that. We're going to get that circle right in between them. And we're going to use this feature for the distance. We're going to go 2 next. And it's going to the right. The extrusion is going to the right, so it's going to go all the way to that hole when we click this. And we're going to hit OK. All right. Now, that's going to interfere with the connecting rod. So we've got to shorten that. So we're going to do, we're going to click right in the circle there. So just that face is highlighted and do a sketch in there. Now it's just hidden. So we're going to tilt this a little bit so we can see it. And what we want to do is project geometry on this circle and that circle. So click here, project geometry, get that one and that one. And then we're going to finish that. Then we're going to extrude it. We're going to click right there, that face, and then we're going to cut. But we're going to cut 19 millimeters off. And hit OK. And that looks really good. Except we want to have this on this side now. And that's where we're going to use our mirror feature. So we're going to do mirror. And the features we want, I'm going to click this twice. I want extrusion 6. So I'm going to left click that one, and extrusion 7. I'm going to left click that one too. I want both of them because I want that whole piece, and then I want to cut back 19 millimeters. So I have to select both of them. And for the plane, I want this YZ plane because that's what I did the sketch on. So right there, then my ghost outline appears, and I'm going to hit OK. And there we go. That's it. That's how you make the piston. Now, when you save this, you want to do File, Save As. You want, and you're going to get this warning. The current design view representation is locked, and changes you made to the representation will not be saved. So there's some feature in here, over here, that is locked, and you cannot unlock it. So just hit OK. Don't worry about it. When you close this and open it back up, it will look exactly like this. So it'll be fine. So we're just going to hit OK. And then on my desktop, I've already created a folder called Engine. And I have a previous piston file in here because I'd been doing this for practice. So I've already got one in there. I'm just going to save over it. And it's going to tell me, do I want to overwrite it? And I'm going to say yes. But you want to have these in the same folder. So if you don't have a folder for this already, you can, wherever you're going to work on it and save it, you can hit the Create New Folder button, name the folder Engine, and then double click on it so you're inside of it, and then save this as Piston. And your other projects will be in here too. You'll have the crankshaft, the connecting rod, the rings and pin. And then when you go to do the assembly, they all need to be in the same folder for it to work. So that's why we're all doing these in one engine folder. So piston, I'm going to hit save and it's going to say, do I want to replace it? I'm going to say yes. And that's it. And hopefully this recording saved. And if this video was helpful to you, hit that like button and we'll move on to the next one.